Again. How you guys doing? So we got a Grand Cherokee, we got a couple doors, and a full windshield to do. I did do that thing again. Yes, there it is. So let's delete that. I've been doing that lately. I forget. But it's fine. We're okay now. Yo. What's up? Podium. First, Miguel, Johnny. What's up? Almost was. How y'all doing? Haven't seen you in a while. You haven't been here then. I've been here like 3 times last week. How you doing, man? Garcia, what's up? All right. So we got a windshield. Where's my other battery? I don't know. We'll figure that out later, I guess. Battery is charged. That's a good thing. Oh, it's right here. This one should be dead, right? Yep. I'm slacking. You are. Or staying busy. If you're not here, usually there's other stuff to do. So that can be a good thing. T-Town, Ron, Brian, Jose. Louisiana. That's where GeoShield is. I'm going to be headed down there in June? Like June 1st or something? Your screen dimensions are wrong. They're not wrong. They're just different now. But I got a thing. I got a thing to maybe change that. It depends on how complicated I want to make things on my end. My hot take here is this ratio is better when you're mobile and want to watch chat. If you don't want to watch chat, it's probably not as good. What tint do you recommend? I got 5 and 20. What tint do you recommend? I mean, Tint Depot's good, for sure. 20% is my most popular. So we're doing 20% on the front doors, and then we're doing 35 on the windshield. I should be in 4 by there. Yep. Okay. Let's put this up here. Should be good. Excuse me. 2% on a windshield. It's a little much, I think. Although I've done triple 2.5 for a video. You could still see out of it though. %2 to be safe. All right. I need the camera microphone. And then we're good. It's always stuff. Do you ever get tired of tinting? Yes. But this makes it fun. Anything. I would get tired doing anything day in and day out. I have to do something to make it interesting. All the things that I do makes it a constant challenge, but in a fun way, not like in an annoying way. Do you ever get tired of money? So that's the thing about this whole business. Like, there's infinitely different ways of growing it and improving it. So that's been my main focus. Yeah, right? No kidding. As you can tell by looking at his head. Mm-hmm. Do I have to sit, like, over here? Did this get, like, pushed? I feel like this got pushed. Oh, it did again. Oh. I didn't know that. Here, watch this. Center to screen. Yeah, something like that. This is centered. How much do you charge for ceramic windshields? $250 for the windshield. So this is oh yeah, I should say we're also doing carbon on the front doors. So we're doing carbon 20 on the front doors, and then we're doing ceramic 35 on the shield. You're still God. I just go real hard into video and stuff with window tinting. That's what I do. Hey, it's Anthony. I got banned from the group because I posted a funny Bud Light meme. Oh, no, that wasn't funny. I don't know. I have to go out of my way to unban you. I just need to keep all that kind of drama stuff. Like, it would just stir up a bunch of shit. What I would say is message one of the mods and let them know that I said it's okay to let you back in. Because I'll probably miss it. Well, I appreciate that he came on here and said that. It was probably just one of those in-the-moment things, but yeah, I have to do quite a bit to maintain that group anyways. All right, we're going to get started. Oh, I clicked the wrong button, that's why. Ugh, I need to delete some other sources or something. Okay, let's get started. Yeah, message T-Town. Whenever I practice tint, I'm about to install, there's always an inch left at the bottom, which I do. You should make sure that there's not an inch. You're just pulling it down too far. Don't pull it down as far. All right. Go live. Choose topic, education, go live. All right, let's do this. What's up? Everything should be good. All right, so let's put some tape on this. Or you can make another profile. No, look up T-Town. This is what gets annoying. Like, there's so many people and things, and I'm not in front of my computer a lot, so then it'll never get done. Message T-Town, like T-Town shirts. All right, so we're gonna do 20% carbon on the front. Let's turn this on. Ding, 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 ding. Well, that just turns everything off, doesn't it? Except the dinging. So is this centered? Yeah. Yeah, that's all good. Cool. Cool, cool. Do you have any tips on working with car dealerships? I do, actually. Car dealerships can be annoying, and you got to understand that they have too many things going on to care about you. So you are all about you. They have 5 million customers, and nobody's doing anything right, and everything is just one gigantic, chaotic mess. So, best I can say is understand that going into it. Some dealerships will put somebody in charge of, you know, like they will be the window tinting contact there. But usually whoever is the sales manager is generally your go-to guy there. Anybody in the sales department can add window tint to a job, but you should make it as easy on them as possible with some sort of like a, you know, most people are going to do full cars or front doors, and understand when they're wasting your time and when they're not. So if they want you to just come in for any one particular job anytime that they have it, that's kind of difficult. But if they can funnel things to a couple days a week, or they're just generally busy, but you want to be careful about your time as much as possible as well. So just give them a day or two to line jobs up for you, and then that's their tint day, and then you'll come in and knock all that stuff out. You don't really even have to give dealerships any type of wholesale pricing either. If you do, make sure you set minimums so they understand that, you know, hey, you need to hit this many cars to qualify for this type of a discount. But for the most part, you don't need to. What's the name of that tape? The white stuff is called Seal Guard. So I'll put this on the side seals, and then it'll just keep any dirt. Instead of like cleaning off the inside seals and stuff, I'll just tape them. It's not going to be as important on a Grand Cherokee because this is newer rubber seals on the side. They clean up pretty easily. But in general, if you have older seals, felt seals, stuff like that, that's where it's really going to help you out. It's odd seeing the square frame. Should we do this one this way? Nah, I don't want to do that. Why would I do that? That little dip. I probably screwed it up. Yeah, that's going to be a 40. You're not going to be able to do that on a 36-inch roll. Not at all. Maybe put this up a little higher. I'm going to cut this one, and then we'll shift it down, match them up. Is the computer in the same spot on this as the RAMs? No. No, but what's weird about all like the Jeeps and Chryslers and Dodge stuff is they were putting BCMs in like the most annoying of places. So just cover the dash, be conscious of how much water that you're spraying, and you'll be okay. Is that why you do the 40 roll to get 2 pieces? Yeah, on this one, yes. It would be smarter for me to just have a 20-inch roll. But, whoa, that started shifting like fucking crazy. That was annoying. Oh, did we just ruin it? Because that shifted a lot. How did that happen? Yikes. Well, it didn't matter about that top edge anyway. Double cutting. You mess up one pattern, you mess up both patterns. Okay, so you can use those. We're not doing quarters. This is just front doors and the full windshield. Shorter job on this one. And I can't divide anything in half now. This is where I should have just done the job. Hang on. So we're going to put that one on the side. All right, so let me get to the other part that I was saying about a 40-inch roll. I only have 40-inch rolls of carbon because I've started with 40s because I wasn't installing that much carbon, and I just ended up not caring to get 24s. So there's a lot of full cars and stuff that I'll do that are generally just smaller. So 2 front doors every once in a while isn't a big deal. Plus, if I split it right, then I wouldn't have had that problem there. Good times. We're off to a good start. Is today Monday? Oof. Let's go. So yeah, on a truck or SUV, 40-inch isn't ideal. Yes, you can do 20/20, but you have to be able to split that really accurately for that to fit. Otherwise, you do what I just did, and then one's a little taller, one's a little shorter, and then you're cutting out extra film and wasting money and wasting time. So in the Pro Classic and the Pro Nano, I have like 36s and 24s. It was just like at the time, carbon was on like a different sizing, so I couldn't get 36s of carbon at the time. It was just 40s. So I would order 40s of carbon and then 36 24s of everything else. Good old, it's a case of the Mondays. It's like Garfield and Office Space. Let me put in another blade here. That LED setup is pretty sweet. Thank you. You're coming through clutch. No, I'm not. I'm messing things up today, boy. Let's go. Yeah, so this is GeoShield C2 carbon on the sides, and then we're going to put 35 Pro Nano on the windshield. Is 50% darker, is 50% carbon darker than 50% ceramic? Is a truck faster than an SUV? See, that's where like so many people get hung up. The answer is some are and some aren't. It depends. But like what gets really annoying with film is people go dyed, carbon, ceramic, or I use this brand's film is is GeoShield good, or is this good? But there's so much to it. So it just depends on the person's ceramic that you're looking at. Some of them will meter a little darker, some of them will meter a little bit lighter. But you don't really know until you put them side by side. But it's going to be such a small difference that you're really not going to notice. But yeah, really what people are asking... Really what people are asking is if I get my car tinted in 50% carbon, is it going to look darker than if I got 50% ceramic? You wouldn't be able to tell. The main difference between one or the other is not looks, it's heat. I only laugh because I've been there before. Oh, yeah. That's how it goes, man. You just have those days. The first one was looking so nice. So what happened was when I was making that side cut, so I didn't tack the film down, and you just hit that spot where there's a little like ripple in the film, and it started pulling the film over, and I was just moving so fast I didn't notice. And then it just, yikes. It's no good. But we're okay now, I think. Hang on, you know, I shouldn't say that. This ride isn't over yet. We still got a couple doors and a windshield to go through. You should do an intro video, customer experience start to finish. This customer's experience started with, am I in the right place? 10 out of 10. Let's go. We're only 24 minutes in. Yeah, we just got some patterns 24 minutes in. I gotta do something to my door. Even my numbers are starting to fall off the door. The interior looks nice. It's nice to sway away walk-in traffic. I get confused. When somebody walks into my shop and they don't have an appointment, I'm almost confused. I'm more than happy to talk to people, but a lot of times I'm doing something else, so then it's like, oh. How do you not have over 1,000 viewers? Because I'm boring. It's tinting. I don't know. Because I'm not spouting out fast food secrets all day. Unfortunately, I don't know them. This guy said he can do a Model 3 with the windshield and shaved edges. Nice. That's good. I mean, I'll take 4 hours instead of 44 minutes. There's always like, see, the thing is with time and like price is like you can always go higher, you always can go lower, you always can go faster. People talk a lot on the internet, and that's fine. If they're doing that amount of speed and they're knocking out jobs and they're doing a good job, sweet. More power to them. That's great. I think it's fun to go to like a competition and compete and stuff and just meet people. But I've never been super competitive. At the end of the day, it's just about getting cars done and impressing the people that you're tinting them for. So if I brought in a Model 3 to a guy and he did it that quickly, sometimes you almost question, I mean, you would definitely question the quality of work. I don't know how much a consumer is going to know, but you never want to make them feel like they're cheated on it. All right. Pull that down. This wouldn't be a hard one to pull. If it was Durango, it'd be the same way. But Grand Cherokee, we'll leave the seal in. What's the difference between one stage and two staging? Oh, so there's just a couple terms people have dubbed bottom loading and top loading. So, or bottom loading and two staging. I always thought they were just kind of goofy names. But when you pull the seal, peel the tint, and just drop it in, that's one way to do it. And then the way that I do it is I leave the seals in so I don't have to remove anything. They're both fine. They're both good. They get the job done. I don't know why there's such a hot debate, one over the other. Again, just do a good job, make your customers happy, and move on to the next one. Because your customers do not care. They do not know what the hell you're even talking about. I mean, screw anybody that does anything different than I do. Y'all suck. I don't know. I wonder if it's like just a mental thing. Like, why would I do anything different than what I think is the best? So when I see somebody do something different than what I do, it's like challenging my own the best. Is that what's going on? I don't know why so many people care though. Or when you post something and do something, then you have 5 people telling you how they do it differently than you do it. It's like, okay, then you post the video. All right. Let's get this up there. See, slide into the seal. Nice. Pull this back. We're gonna slide this into that seal. Nice. Grand Cherokee front doors were super common for me. I did a lot of them. Grand Cherokees, Rams, all that stuff. Is this still working? Yes. How do you become a more efficient tinter? You gotta put yourself under stress. When you're too relaxed, you kind of slow down and you make yourself too comfortable. You have to put yourself under a time crunch, I think. That's the way that I really sped up, was I didn't have a choice. I tinted for other companies. And then there's the things that you think are possible, but people are always pushing norms. So like tinting a Model 3 in 45 minutes with the windshield. It's like, yeah, that's really friggin' fast. But if somebody can do it, that's awesome. Go for it. I don't want to tint that fast. I think there's a certain level where you start to burn yourself out. But as soon as something becomes normal, people are always pushing that normal. I feel like there's something wrong with my chat there, or everybody's really quiet today. Yeah. I don't know why my software is being funky today, but it definitely is. Do you have dates for the June classes? Man, I'm sorry. I don't yet. Restream, you let me down today. Okay. I think it should be okay now. Where can I buy film in Canada? Sorry, I was missing chat for like a little bit now. Hopefully it's working. I don't know. That's kind of good. goofy. No, YouTube is being a butt. Internet. I don't know why, but YouTube's being dumb right now. GoPro. Hopefully it'll fix itself here in a minute. Every once in a while it does that. Pull the bottom. Pull out that liner. Tuck one corner. Go to the other side. Tuck the other corner. Ooh. There we go. Do that little shuffle. Shuffle that boy in there. Pick up the rest of the film. And start tucking that into the sides and underneath. Pull that seal back. Da, 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 da. Spray. But I don't know. I never get the faster argument. I think it just depends on how comfortable you are one with the other. Some people are going to do one faster than the other. I've just been doing things so long this way, it's just most comfortable doing this. All right, then we're going to wipe it off. I'll pull the tape. Looking good. Every once in a while, my chat doesn't want to work. Recently, I switched from cushion slip to gel tint slip. Started noticing haze and streaks under the film. What? What are you using and where do you find it from? I haven't heard of either of those. Have you had any problems with tint slip? Oh, Fusion. That's why. Fusion was tacky, man. That's why I wasn't a big fan of it. But so this depends on the type of film that you're using. Yeah, see that little error there? Hopefully that'll fix itself. So if you have tacky problems, that's what tint slip was made for, was because I was not, like I tried, when I started using Geo, I tried every slip out there. And I was frustrated because I had to use basically my own little mix of like baby shampoo and Dawn. And then like that goes by for 3 years. And then GeoShield starts looking into slip solution and he says, hey, you shouldn't use Dawn. And I'm like, well, what the hell am I supposed to use? They're like, I don't know. use Fusion All-Type. And I'm like, I tried that. Let me try it again. And yeah, it doesn't matter if you add a ton of it. It's still tacky. So then they actually set out to fix it. I just want the films to be more user-friendly, that's all. All right, we're gonna move. Oh wait, can I do pop-out chat on this? Pop-out chat, yep. All right, we're gonna put you guys right here. Just nod if you can hear us. I can't, my software is being goofy, but you guys are up on the screen now. I feel like I have to use a lot of tint slip for it to slip. Yeah, we're working on that too. It depends on what you're working on. So like for me, this is 2.5 ounces, but it sheets really well on the glass. So when it does that, you don't have to use a lot of it. If it doesn't sheet well on the glass, that's when you have to use more of it. And so we're doing things to improve that. But that's the main thing that I've noticed is like when it's nice and even, it should do great. That's 2.5 ounces in a 3-gallon keg. Sweep, sweep. Spray that. Oh, let me trim that again. It's just there's one spot that's not perfectly flush. Oh shit, that's probably why. Laminate sticking out. There we go. That's better. See this? That rubber? Ugh. It's gross. Use a tad more. Like quadruple the amount. Yikes, that's a lot. I'm surprised this isn't working yet. Internal error. There's no way to fix that, is there? Okay. Well, what was the other one? I think I can pull up another software really quick, because I figured it'd be working by now, but it's not. It was working. That's the most frustrating problem, is when everything's fine, and then all of a sudden you get into things, and then it's not fine anymore. What did we say? Mondays? It's the case of the Mondays? Looks like it. Yeah, we're having a big case of Mondays today. Holy shit. Look at how much we trimmed off. We trimmed quite a bit off there. We shrunk, ready to go. Should be fine. Does plotter always perfect? No, plotters do not, but neither do hand cuts either. Sometimes you mess up. Shit. Let's see if this one will work for me. Then I can actually hear you guys. Connect. YouTube. Offline. Well, I guess that's not gonna work either. Traffic lights. Motorcycles. Oops, something went wrong. If you run a good software, plotters are good for about 95% of vehicles. Yeah, they do a decent job. Oh my god. What did they do to their software? They like completely bricked it. Yeah, of course I want the one that's there, and then there's a problem with YouTube. Yeah, shit's just broke. Shit's just broke. YouTube failed to refresh. YouTube. I agree. This one. This one. Allow. Okay, now I think we're gonna work. Hey! There we go. Now I can hear you guys. So there's a software that I use, and that's all well and good, until all of a sudden it just decides to completely brick. And then what's working is the free option. Go figure. No, all the other comments are not gonna flood my earpiece. I'm just not going to know pretty much most of what you guys are talking about. Oh, for sure. You can bottom load every car, but you can't two-stage every car. Yeah, 100%. Here's the thing. There's cars that I definitely don't want to take apart, though. See, look at this. It looks so much better now. It just took 6 times. Jeez. Anyways. Yeah, the ES, like, there's the whole point. It's like, there's not one better than the other. Yeah, you're going to be able to bottom load everything. The thing is, it's about removing obstacles. So, if it's more annoying or difficult to remove those obstacles, but it's easier to just tint it as is, then, like, why not leave it alone and just do things that way? That's the way that I learned how to tint. Like, bottom loading wasn't a thing. So, like, with the Grand Cherokee, yeah, I can pop this back. I can pull the seal. It's pretty quick. It doesn't take long to do it all on this one. And then there's a fair amount of vehicles that are just a couple of screws, pop some clips, and you're fine. But I'd argue, like, I mean, for me, this is always my argument, is like, I learned how to do things this way. So I'm like going out of my way on cars that are simple for me to tint to then pop the seals. So that's why I continue to do things this way. It's not going to make things easier for me, but it is going to make things easier for somebody that's new. I don't feel like going through the learning curve on lots of easy cars. I just don't, because it's like there's no real gain there for me. But I always mention, especially at the classes, no. I think the hardest was an Audi. No. So there was this Lexus IS 250. I was at a glass company. It was an older one, okay? There's the newer ones, which are easy. Then there's like the early 2000s model. I got comments that said, just pop the seals. And you're right. Seals popped out. A little bit of struggle. And then, oh, you want to put the seal back in after you pop it out? Then you have to disassemble the entire door. It took that glass shop an hour to put those door panels back together. And they replace door windows all the time. So whatever you've done, it's been easy for you, and the longer you do it, it becomes second nature to do things that way. I get it. That's how I am with tinting this way. I don't understand why, it's okay. Everybody's got a different way of doing it. So I didn't take the seal out, and I'm good. I'm all set with these. These are great. Sweet. Moving on. This gotta be that boop boop. This gotta be a TikTok thing. I don't know what else that could be. I just want to make a career off of not having to take cars apart as well. I appreciate that. Agreed. It's whether you're comfortable, just have to understand the other option might be needed. Yeah, exactly.
Easy money right there.
Oh my God, is it back? Did the software fix itself? But, so there's like the internal, there's the eternal argument of plotters versus hand cut, two-stage versus bottom loading. It's like, it's fucking tint politics. It's so dumb. There's good arguments for both, and there's good reasons why you would want to do one over the other. But it's like everybody has to have like a team that can't cross over to like the other side. And it's like, boy, you do whatever makes that car easy for you, and you do a good job on that, because the only person that really cares is the customer. Are you coming to SEMA? No. I don't even know when that is. There's one event. Windshield is doing a flat glass event, and I guess I have to like do a 30-minute presentation. And I just got flat glass meters over the weekend, which is cool. And I know mostly nothing about it. So that's a thing. I should have brought it in today. Pretty sure Matico Matico is an actual film manufacturer. They manufacture everything out of Florida. Like, they manufacture film for them and other companies. I bottom load because I'm new and I kind of suck. But the debate is wild. I 100% agree. Yeah. Like, I often say, like, especially if you come from, like, a audio background, you worked on, like, so there's so many people that worked on, like, car stereos that are coming over to window tinting. And it's like, dude, you guys can, like, your whole career was pulling door panels and all that. Make it easier on yourself. There's no reason to make it any more difficult than you have to. How much does one roll of glass aid cost? If you buy just one roll, I think it's $6.99. If you buy like a 10-pack, then it's like $5.99. Maybe it's it's got to be more of that than anything. Can't imagine two-staging a Mercedes with gull-wing doors. Yeah, that's fair. I can't imagine two-staging rear quarter windows. Meanwhile, the other casual bystanders are like, what the fuck are you guys even talking about? All right, back window prep. Give it a couple little What are you putting? What's the white tape? That's called glass aid. The main reason for me to have it is it keeps the glass safe when you're cutting on the glass. You can keep a sharp blade. You can use light pressure. I don't know. Every glass that I've looked at really, really closely, you can typically find some sort of very small score line. Some glass is just really cheap. So that was my way of guaranteeing I'm not going to hurt the glass and I can still cut on the car. What body camera do you use? It's a pretty ridiculous setup. This is a GoPro. I'm wired up like a TV station right now. So watch. This is what I look like right now. I have an HDMI transmitter. I have a GoPro. I got a lot of stuff going on. So it's basically just a wireless video feed that goes directly to the PC. And then, so it's like it's plugged right into the PC. Oh yeah, we're doing ceramic. Ooh. And we got the tint rack. Which one is 35 because I didn't meter them. This is 70, this is 50, this is 35. I know that. I gotta label them. This is why I want to live with this thing a little bit. I'm so used to having space in the rollers to kind of grab. People are still talking about it. I saw a video of the Tint Buster guy that two-staged a Lexus. I didn't have a fun time trying to do that. It felt like blasphemy. See, I don't get it. It's fine. People get so wrapped up in methods. All right, let's put this back on the rack. Nice. So I put this up the other day too. This is called the rack. And there's little end caps that go in standard size tint rolls. So then you can just put everything up here and should make your plotter more efficient. I don't know. It's cool. I used to think about that a while ago. I thought it was going to take some sort of like a hinge. So you can take like a standard roll and then put it on some sort of like hinge thing that holds it on the rack. But no, you just change out the end caps and it's like, oh, well, that was simple. I'd say the most awkward difference, though, is just picking up the rolls. So with a regular tint roll, I can grab it like this. And then I pinch it with my thumb. With this, I only have, like, you have to just grab it a little differently. So it's just getting used to that. And because they have pegs sticking out the bottom, I can't just set it on the ground anymore like that. It'll fall over. I was talking to the rack guys about a handle. What would the I saw your comment. I didn't understand how the handle would work. Yeah, I took the box rack down. I want to get more of them and then shift the whole thing over to the left, but I only had 8. So I want all the 36-inch rolls pushed over this way and then 24s right next to it. You know what's nice too? Stuff like that, when you have it sitting out, it's really good for inventory. No, I know. I'm not going to set it on the ground. I said I can't set it on the ground anymore. It's not going to balance. It's just going to tip over. All right, so let's shrink this thing. Let's do that shrinking method that I've been talking about a little bit. Let's see how that works on here. Just trying to see a good angle, because this is a little tall. All right, that's fine. Get a flamethrower for shrinking. A little excessive. Damn, this thing's almost all shrunk. The ease of this shrinking method greatly depends on the film you're using. No, not as much. I have tried this with the cheap Amazon film. I have tried this with Lexon's HSA. The only thing that you have to change is the speed. So, if you're moving too quick, you're not gonna give it time to shrink. If you're moving too slow, you're gonna heat it. But you can start by moving a little quick and then learning how much you shrunk it and then going back over it maybe a little bit slower next time. Cheap film tends to bunch up rather than lay evenly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're gonna have an easier time with the film that shrinks more consistently. But it still works plenty okay. Like, that's what was so cool about doing things this way. It's like so when you're shrinking, I always talk about adjusting your heat closer and farther back. Well, you always can use more heat. That's why people use the torches. So, if I hold my hand in front of it for long, I'm going to burn my hand. But if I move it quickly, I hardly feel that heat. So you just figure out that sweet balance for the film that you're using, and you just keep running it across. It'll shrink. This is probably the most this is easily the most foolproof method that I've come across. But I'm going to show people this at the upcoming class, and I'm going to see how that works. Got to try this on your Tesla. Okay. So on the windshield, probably no problem. On the back window, you might have to change things up a little bit because it's such a long piece of glass. So I don't really know how you're going to get from one side all the way to the other. But you can't really look at a method like this and then think of like every edge case situation where it might not be perfect for, because there's just going to be those windows. But you're going to learn so much about shrinking doing things this way. I don't know, it just makes it easier. See, the way I'm shrinking now is just I'm watching for the film to do a thing, and then I press it out where I want it to go. But when you're not used to looking for those things, it's just this is like you don't even know what you're looking at. So it's like try and just take any thought out of it and just hold it close, move it relatively quickly, and then if you move it too fast, you're going to go through the entire thing, and then you're going to look back at it, and you're like, oh, here, we're going real fast. We're not putting as much heat as we should. And all that means is we just didn't shrink the film a lot. So then what does Matt do? He pulls it. He presses some of it down until these little lines start popping in, right? And then he, I don't know, pulls it again. Some shit like that. And then he goes over it again. All right, so we're already up a little bit. Put it a little closer. And let's not slow down any. See, what happens with film is when you put a lot of heat on it, it shrinks maybe longer than you think. So that's 2 times. Again, we're going to sweep it up, and we're going to see what starts bunching. Oh, I'm all the way up here now. I don't know. To me, this is super easy. So we got a couple more lines there. Let's go over those. We'll go live on TikTok and show new people this that have never touched film before, and we'll see what happens. Can we buy full rolls in store or shipping only? If you out of my store, it's only shipping because he's using the dry shrink method. We're using dry shrink prep. You could use dryer sheets too. I shrink 3M film like that, and all laid flat, melted like butter. Most films will. GeoShield shrinks well. Yes, it does. How about after I do this, maybe I'll pull over the Ultima, and then I'll do it with Lexan. Can you tint your windshield if it has a crack? Yeah, you can put film on it. You might get pulled over for the crack in your windshield, and then so that's why it's always best to just get your windshield fixed before you do it. And if that crack has not stopped, then it will reach an end point. It's never just going to stay in one place. It's always starts and ends somewhere at one edge to another edge. much does a full carbon tint job cost on an Audi A3? Sides and rear would be $350. Okay, yeah, $350 on an Audi with the windshield would be $550. Wasn't Lex in your main film years back? No. It's never been. People just talk about it nonstop. Well, it's different. You got a chip in your windshield, not a crack. Yeah, if you patch the chip, yeah, then you're fine. You always want to take off the problem with the chip is always the little spider legs. So if it's spidering away from the center in like a star pattern, those can continue to spread. So yeah, as long as you patched it, yeah, you can definitely tint it. So, all good. Wasn't Lex in your main film? Look, I don't care how many excuses people want to make for it. Yeah, well, you've been tinting for a long time, blah, 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 blah. There's always going to be a certain level of skill with tinting. That's just how it is. This is the easiest way that I figured out. And on the vast majority of things that you actually have to tint, it's going to work great. Is it 100% foolproof? No, probably not. You're probably going to find a reason why it doesn't work as well on a particular car. Out of how many cars is it going to work great on? So, if you can't shrink at all, and you start doing this, then you'll immediately be able to start shrinking. That's the whole point. I can continue to shrink how I normally do and never talk about it ever again. And then let people just stay confused. But it's genuinely pretty cool. I mean, that's the whole thing about bottom loading, really. It's like it makes the tinting it makes the tinting portion easier. The hard part is disassembling the panels. And yes, quite a lot of them are pretty straightforward to take apart. So just spend some time doing that. And then you'll have an easier time tinting. But just like that shrinking method, you're probably going to run into something that sucks to take apart. That's life. How do I get a hold of y'all to schedule some tint? Oh, you can call the shop. All right. So that's all cut. It's all shrunk. It's ready to go. Let's clean the inside. Let's throw it in. Once I find... Oh, good. It's right here. Is this one new? Oh my god, I made it in the trash. Does that towel have a soak rope built in it? Nope. No, it does not. Dash pushes a little bit tighter. I could probably still wedge one in there, but when they're tighter, I just don't mess with it too much. I never want the towel or the ropes to make my installation harder. So I put in there what I can, and then just be careful about the amount of water. All the water is dripping straight down. This is a really absorbent towel. So if we get this done within one go, we're fine. If we have to do it more than once, then I'm gonna swap out probably for another towel. I mean, because the water is not magic. The water is traveling somewhere. So as long as you know where you're spraying and can catch it, then you're fine. You should make a video called tinting a sedan with window rain guards. I don't see as many anymore. I have like a really old video on the channel that has to do with rain guards. And every once in a while, I'll get something in here that does. But most things don't. So if they're the in-channel ones, definitely remove them. If they do that thing where they come down on the front side. At some point, WeatherTech took over a lot of the visor market. I don't know if they just bought everybody. But they are the vast majority of what I ever see still. And the way that they make theirs is pressure fit. Have you ever put a Triumph blade in a side swipe? No, not yet. I don't have any Triumph blades. But yeah, a wider swipey thing would be really good rather than just going across the entire windshield with a 1.5 inch razor blade. Why are there no like in-betweens? Somebody want to make that? Or am I going to have to do that eventually? Somebody want to make like a 2.5 to like 3.5 inch wide razor blade? Or 2.5 to 3 probably. Because the Triumph blades, those are like 4. But if you could just take a 1 inch razor blade and double it up, that would be amazing. What shade is this? This is 35. 35 is the darkest I would go on a windshield. I use a 6 inch Triumph blade and a 4 inch holder allows it to flex. That sounds handy. I'll probably have to put that on the list of things that I have to do then. I appreciate the tip. Yeah, because I'm so over taking a 1 inch razor blade and scraping off a windshield. It's annoying. The only thing that I like about the 1 inch blade, and I don't even like using a holder really, is I can feel that blade against the glass. And like I've seen people flex their, put out a lot of blade, flex it, and then go over the whole thing. And when you're swiping with water, sometimes you don't know if you're actually scoring the glass or not. And I've seen some pretty messed up windshields from that. But yeah, taking a thingy-majigger, the Triumph blade, that'd be pretty cool. Sounds helpful. All right, so this is all clean. Now we're gonna peel. Peel the outside, roll it up. Oh yeah, this. Why do you spray the inside first? Old habits. You could definitely roll this up and then clean the inside. We're not going to Frankenstein it. We're going to do something different. We are, yeah, let's reach over, let's grab that. Did somebody say bottom of the windshield? I used to Frankenstein windshields. There was nothing super straightforward about that. This is, I'd say, are we skilled? Oh, yeah, we got it. I didn't think I'd be able to just click that little bit right there. I would probably still be awkwardly handing the film into somebody else. I always looked at everything independently, because from shop to shop that I was running around to, when you're mobile, the only person that you can rely on is yourself. So every method is kind of a solo way of doing things. The one that would probably be damn near impossible is the Model X windshield. Doing that by yourself, whew, that would be a huge pain. It's not impossible. It would just be way easier with somebody else to help manage the film. Oh, come on. Release, damn you. There's no great point for me to, like, peel this away. Oh, wait, there it goes. Okay, there we go. Got it. Yeah, I gotta start it, like, on the Model X, you start at, like, the bottom and kind of roll it up. You don't start on the left and go to the right or anything like that. Screw that. The answer is always bottom left, no matter what. His name's Matt, not Bud. I used to work with a guy. Oh my god, that was the funniest. I never really paid attention until he pointed it out. But yeah, when people say... I still don't notice it all the time. But when people say Bud and Pal... Hey, Bud! Hey, Pal! It was always funny. Yep, I agree. Bud kind of comes across as condescending. What... The other one, this one I'm never going to get away from. The other one is bro. Everybody, I think, uses bro way too much. But that's just car culture, really. Everybody says bro. That's just how it is. Or brother. Thanks, brother! All right, get those lined up. Hell yeah, brother. Like the old wrestling days. Bro, you be tripping. Yeah, I could definitely go over tools. Sorry, you stepped on a landmine right there with that comment. It usually doesn't happen. It's funny. Yeah, you don't really need very much to tint. So I'll go over what I need for a door window and what I need for a back window. Let me finish this up first, then we'll go over that. You're fine. It's shop talk, bud. I'm still tinting with some basic stuff from Amazon. I got Amazon tools. Replace bro with dickhead. That's pretty great. Oh my god. So aviation mechanics school, we wouldn't have survived unless we were constantly making fun of people the entire time. Like we would just like rag on each other all day, every day. It was brutal. The worse it was, the funnier it was though. But when it comes to like the Facebook group and stuff like that, I have a much lower tolerance for that, just because not everybody can, like, with text everything seems a lot more monotone. So like when I can joke around about it on Facebook or on live, it's, to me, it's way easier. What tool are you using now on the windshield? Yeah, we'll go over tools in just a second. Blackmer for Congress. Do you want me to tint or do you want me to do politics? Yeah, that's why you always gotta like add smileys and LOLs and stuff. You always gotta do something to kind of break up the dickish attitude. It's okay. It's never gonna be perfect though. There's always gonna be like that misunderstanding, and that's why people get kicked out of the group. There's always gonna be that. Is it normal for my tint to get foggy, revealing streaks on them? Yeah, so once your brand new tint, there's still condensation in the car. You can leave the doors open, that'll help air everything out. And then just wipe everything off with glass cleaner, and then it'll be fine. Just got one little guy. One little, like, dust hair dude. Is he gone? Oh, hell yeah. That's good. We got him. Boom. So, especially when you're wiping it off, we're using like a soapy water. Oh, there's one little bigger speck right here I can take out. But there could be just a little bit of residue or anything left on that. So really what you see is just a little bit of condensation that will make your film maybe appear a bit streaky, but it'll be fine. The stuff that is not fine is like dirt specks and whatnot that you can't take out. But all that, see how that leaves lots of streaks there? We'll go over to make sure we get it all wiped off. The more thorough that you are, the better it'll look. Yeah, you know, a nubbin. How do you prevent water staining on headliner when you tint windshields? Don't spray down the headliner. It's really gonna just be a problem on older cars. So on anything new, when you spray soapy water on it, like we're using really mild soaps and clean water. There's nothing there that's staining. So on older cars, if you get the top portions, like especially on a back window, if you get the top portions here really wet, what you'll see is that like the dirt all kind of shifts and puddles at like the end of that water puddle. So if anything, you like cleaned it a little bit, but it's just not even. But yeah, just be conscious about what you're, like you don't need to soak anything up here. Just light mist up here, and then you can spray a little heavier down there, but honestly, you don't need much more than a mist. Some people go crazy and they're just like, and they blast all the edges everywhere. So you just don't need to do that. All right. So we wiped off all the soapy water, but it still could be streaky. So then I'll go over it with either a glass cleaner or some alcohol and water. Because there's going to be, you know, depending on the type of soap that you're using, there could be a little like greasy smears. Why is everybody talking about nubbins? Think nubbin about it. Alrighty. We can peel this back, make sure it's not gonna lift my tint. And we'll even start it. And hopefully we won't have any problems, you know? I'm gonna put one in there. See, here's where my other one fell. Use the dolphin, the tail fin. Nah, unnecessary on this one. Okay, so main tools. Let me take out any extras that I have. Okay, so this is the tool belt that I use. And on the doors, what I like to use is a handled squeegee. This one is the shorty handle, and this is a hybrid blade squeegee. That's for generally cleaning, and like you see, I squeegee out the vast majority of everything with just this one squeegee blade. This is called the shank. This is for tucking the film, so it's just a little pry tool. You pull back the seal with, and then you can scooch that film down into the seal. I like these because they can just stay in your tool belt, so you always have one on hand. They're just really, really handy little tools. For cutting, the vast majority of the things that I cut, you can do everything with just this. This is the red dot knife. This is really nice because you have a lot of little clicks here. It's a really nice knife. It's not very expensive either. And then these ends don't really stick out very far, so you can cut at a very low angle. And then also use NT stainless steel blades. So whenever you're cutting on glass, use these types of blades. These are stainless steel snap-off blades. You can find carbon blades for cheaper, but they'll scratch glass. So use stainless and it'll be way safer. This is just a silly new addition, but I love this little thing. This is the Quarter Pro by Fusion. I call this a little baby squeegee. It's just for really small areas, and honestly, it's been great with every quarter that I've done. So this, Marco dubbed this the Ninja Blade. This is a plastic blade holder. What I like about this is that it's kind of flat on one side. It's got a lot of clicks, and then we use really thin, isn't that? It's like paper. It's so thin. These are extremely sharp, thin blades. I only use those, so these are what those blades are. I only use them for the top edge of the window. Nice clean cuts, but you can still use this to get nice clean cuts. Just if you feel like your top edges are snagging, this is always a good thing to try. And then I have a little turbo. So this is the yellow turbo. The greens, the yellows, the pinks, and the blacks, those are all really good. Make sure you get the Fusion ones though. Reason being is they did their molds not too long ago, so these have really nice clean edges to them. They're good quality ones. The old yellow turbos, the quality of those dropped off quite a bit, so they just don't squeegee as clean. I have a gator blade, so this is like a rough scraper / really hard touch-up tool. So some people have the little chiseler. So if you have a little speck or something, you know, you want to crush some air out of it. This is if it's really bad. I'll generally just use this instead. So this is the tri-edge. I'll use the back corner of this instead because it's a little softer. But then this is the next tool too. This is for the tri-edge X. This is good for swiping all the edges and stuff down. I pretty much exclusively use these. So I squeegee out most of the window with this handled squeegee. And then I'll touch up all the edges and swipe those with one of these. See, you can get really far into the seal. It just sneaks right in there. Flex that against the sides. Don't ever swipe with this flat edge here. That's not going to do anything. You have one beveled side here, one beveled side here. It's always like this, or like this, or like this. But just don't use the long edge because it's just to give the card a little rigidity. Then I have a felt card. I use this to smooth the film when I'm shrinking. So that's really it with the tool belt. So whenever I'm doing a door window, I take a handled squeegee. Then I squeegee out the window, clean it, all that. Swipe the edges with the tri-edge. I cut it out with this knife here, the red dot by NT. Use a stainless steel blade. When you shrink the doors, this is helpful. Felt card. That's most of it. So when it comes to back windows, okay, I should say for prep, there's just a couple more little things that you can use. Like you saw at the beginning, I've got seal guard tape. That's just for the side edges and stuff to, you know, just mask off the sides. So that's what this stuff is. And then covering the door panels, we'll get to that later. Like there really isn't any great solution if you're not pulling the seals and stuff other than the doors protector. I think that's a pretty good option. And then with the back window, there's a handful more tools that are helpful. So these three are what I'll bring in, and that's to reach down farther. So it depends on what obstacles are in your way. Most of a back window can be done with this. This is a side swipe. There is an alternate to this that you guys can pick up. If you need a chunkier handle, this is a good option. This is called the Stroke Doctor. So you can reach farther down with this and still have a handle. Where the side swipe, not quite big, good handle, but I thin out my hand a lot. I kind of just like hold the edges of it so I can get down really far on this window and just. But if I have obstacles in the way, then I'm gonna grab this. This is a bulldozer. This is a big flat paddle squeegee. It's got a nice flexible rubber blade here. So I never like the ones that have the plastic edges. There's a lot of back window reach tools that have hard plastic edges that you could put like a tape over or something. I like a flexible rubber blade because that's going to squeegee out a lot of water. And this has a good amount, like enough flex on it so you can press down, let go, pull it back out, or you can kind of support it and then sweep out more at like a downwards angles. And then if I have really tight corners, like there's a lot of panel in the way. So if this presses really close on the glass and I can't quite get either one of these tools in there, that's where I use what is called the tail fin, this goofy looking thing. This thing is so flexible though. So it's got this like upward curve here. So I hold it like this pushes up and curves against the glass, and then you can sweep out those corners much easier. So any back window, bring these 3 tools in with you just in case. Most of them you're going to be able to do just with a side swipe or a stroke doctor, and definitely pick up at least a bulldozer. Once in a long while you're going to use this, but you're not going to use this all the time. And then you have, you know, your extra things like dash towels, soak shield ropes, and stuff like that. So this is a soak shield rope right here. So this is just a microfiber rope. It helps absorb more water. And then this is the dash towel. Sun Distributing has these ones. They're really dense towels that don't take up too much space. So what I'll do first is I will slide this towel into the edges like you saw, and then if there's extra space, then I'll add a soak shield rope. I just like to keep as much covered as I can, but not get too much in the way. Those are all little extra things. And oh, okay. With slip solution, that's going to be this stuff right here, tint slip. But let me give you guys a good alternative here. It's probably so it used to be. This is one of those things that I'm not going to say is foolproof, but it's definitely gotten the job done. The thing is, do I have a measuring? I should have a measuring cup around here, but I don't. See, I've tried lots of different soaps and stuff. I don't know where my measuring cup is because I haven't had to use one in a little while. But anyways, so right now, we're still messing around with tint slip, but I've been using this exclusively for a little while now. So you undo one cap for this little thing, and you just push, and look, it fills up exactly up to 1 ounce, or you can do half ounces or whatever, and I will do 2.5 of these inside my tank. Alternately, with Geo, you want something that makes the film slide pretty well. So baby shampoo is totally safe. You can get the gold one, or you can do the purple lavender one. Either one are really, really good options. I found this stuff to work the best, though, out of everything that I've used. So I will add 3 ounces of this and about a ½ ounce of Dawn, but go for the regular if you can find it. Don't get the ultra. So it's just dish soaps, degreasers. They're not recommended with window tint, and that's where if I can't use this, then this by itself doesn't work enough. So that's where this stuff came about. But I understand going to the grocery store, buying these are going to save you money, and they're going to be more convenient. So, hey, there's that. But Geo and quite a few other film brands are fairly tacky. So if you find your film is just like when you put it on the glass, it's just sticking a lot, definitely add some more soap. But that's what I do. So I also use that 3-gallon keg right there. I forget about sprayers. I don't know if I have a pump sprayer sitting anywhere that I can grab real quick. But this is my 3-gallon tint keg. I like this. Put like 2.5 to like 2 3/4 gallons worth of water. So it fill it up to probably about here. Leave a little gap for air pressure. And then shake it up. Put your soap in there. Shake it up. Close it up, and then I have a really convenient way to pressurize it, just sitting right here. Fill it up with air, and then that's where I got these sprayers right here. One on each side. It's nice. Depends on the film too. Yes. The film really, really depends. So you guys saw this mix, Dawn and Baby Shampoo, when I'm using Geo. There is a time like when I was using Lumar, all you need is a little bit of baby shampoo. You don't even need that much. The way to really tell, maybe we could do that real quick. Let me grab this empty spray bottle right here. I'm going to walk you through this. So let's fill this with water. So this is just a regular spray bottle. You can find these at Home Depot. There's the Zepp one. There's these ones. They're both pretty good. There we go. So this is just straight water. Where's my tool belt? We took it off. There it is. I'll show you guys over on that glass board right there. So if we just use water, that was a good one. I post messages, I reread them, they're dumb, so I remove them. I can appreciate that. All right, so let's clean this off. Spray just regular water. Peel your film. We spray all that. You stick it on the glass. And what happens? It's sliding. Not for very long, though. So what happens is it ends up sticking. Maybe we should just do this on the car. You put that on the glass, and yeah, it very quickly freezes in place. You don't have any slide with it. So this is where you need to play around with stuff. So then you take like a little bit of baby shampoo, you toss it in here. Ooh, it's probably a lot for the bottle. Shake that up, run that through the sprayer. So now when you spray it, see now everything lays a lot easier. And now I got some slide. But, see that little hang up there? The bigger the piece, and when climate changes and you're trying to slide things around the glass, there will be different levels to this whole tackiness situation where you're like, oh, I push it here, I'm okay, and then I'm trying to like line up my other side and I have to wiggle it a little more, and then it just freezes. So you want to play around with your soap mix until you get to that good point where it'll slide where you need to, and then when you tack it down, it'll slowly but surely tack up. It's okay if you squeegee it and it still has a little wiggle to it, but it's way better to have a little bit more slide than not. But as long as you can spray it and get it into place, that's all you need to worry about. Can I see your stand for your ceramic films? It's very nice. Yeah, I can show you. Is there any good cheap plotters? Maybe something that is less than 1K or better. Plotters are going to be probably $2,000 and close to $2,000 on the cheaper side. You're going to need a machine that is at least 40 inches wide for your cut space. Reason being is windshields and back windows. If you just do one for doors, you're missing out. You need a wider machine. There are super cheap plotters out there. The problem is window tint is really thin. So I've got this piece right here, and you have this clear liner that is really, really thin, like very, very thin. And then you have the tint, which is a little thicker. You need to basically cut just through the tint portion and not through that really thin liner. So that's where cheaper machines, you might be able to get them to work. I can't tell you what's going to work and what's not going to work on the very low end because there's so many machines I haven't tried. I can tell you Plotter Depot, Workhorse 1, Workhorse 2. The Workhorse 1 is fine. It'll work for window tint. It's a good machine. There's a 5-year warranty on parts. Other than that, I've heard things like some of the cheap plotters don't have these double rollers on the back. You need those rollers to make tinting way easy. So you just take this, you put this on the rollers, and that feeds your machine. Some of them has some sort of weird vinyl thing that goes into the ends. It's not ideal for window tint. So as long as your machine has that, the other difference is going to be the motors. This has a servo motor versus a stepper motor, or what? It's got the quieter one. There's stepper motors that sound like an old fax machine, and then there's like servo motors which are much quieter and a little more refined. When grabbing tint, does it leave fingerprints on the adhesive or side? Yeah, it can. I never like to touch exposed window tint. So when you peel this, here, see that thin liner there? We have exposed window tint. This is just a sheet of sticky paper. If I do this, there'll definitely be a fingerprint and there'll be a lot of dirt in there. So I never like to peel it and then grab the corners. I always like to hold it in a way where I'm not touching the tint because I feel like there's always going to be something that's left behind anytime you touch those areas. But if you like rinse off your fingers or you use gloves or something, you might be better off. I don't like tinting with gloves though. So the orange and purple / blue baby shampoo are the same, just different color? Yep. The only difference is the smell. I've always just liked the purple one. I used the gold one for a long time. They were out of gold, so then I got this. And look, it says calming, so then I'm calm. Oh, and heat gun. That's a good one too. I forgot about heat guns. This is the cheapest Wagner heat gun. This thing is awesome. Seriously, like, I gave this, it feels like a toy when you first pick it up and turn it on. No, this thing gets really, really hot. But they're only 30 bucks. They're made for, like, light use. So when you're using this on every car, all day, every day, you're gonna burn one of these out maybe every, like, 6 months or so. It's 30 bucks. It's not bad. This isn't gonna last you forever. The more expensive ones, honestly, they're not really beneficial. They have features, and they look beefier, but they don't really work any better. So the Wagners, the Porter cables / Craftsman ones, those are all good ones. Everything else is kind of overpriced, unless you want to spend $300 on something like this. And then this thing gets notably hotter, blows a lot more air, and you can tint faster. But other than that, yeah, just get a Wagner one. $30 every 6 months is okay. Yeah, it's not a problem. Some people buy them and get annoyed that they burn out every once in a while, but like, hey, that's not really what they're for. They're not commercial use. The torch. Where is my torch? There's a propane. I don't know. It's sitting somewhere around here. I use it from, like, just to show people. I don't know. It's somewhere around here. Torch is fine. It works really well if you want a ton of heat.
Matt, do you have any experience with Steck window films? Have you had
you
any
want, like, a
experience
ton of
in
heat,
using lighter
the
windshield
torch
tint 70 or
is
higher?
cool.
What shade would be the
You don't
least
need it to
noticeable
cure
on
the
a windshield?
windows, anything like that. It will, if you spray or if you hit the outside of the window at the end, it'll warm it up and dry it out a little bit faster, but that's all it's really doing. To shrink back windows, it's just like if you're really good and proficient with a heat gun and you just like
30-degree angle
enough,
blades.
then yeah, switch
It's
over to
reading
torch.
everything now, LMAO.
But you don't need to. It's just kind of like because you can. Or if you're mobile and outlets are annoying, yeah, use a torch. Sorry, I realized TikTok
Balls.
is like in the gutter right now. There we go. Where are you located? Sterling Heights. Have you had any experience using lighter windshield tint 70 or higher? What shade would be the least noticeable? I think 70.
Text-to-speech is
The
on Matt.
latest shade
Shout
that I
out
have
to
is
Emilio.
70. That's only in a ceramic because they don't make it in anything else because there's no reason to make it in anything else. But yeah, 70% ceramic. Yeah, I install that from time to time. You can't really tell that it's tinted, not unless somebody points it out. Can you recommend a starter kit? Sun Distributing. If you go to sundistributingdirect.com, they have starter kits. I need to get starter kits again. I don't have them. I'm waiting on clay bars still. I don't know when they're going to be back in stock. There's just been a big delay on them. What types of lights do you use for the interior? I've done pretty much
What
everything
types
with a
of
little
lights
stick
do
light.
you use for the interior tint
So it's
studio?
this guy. This was like 30 bucks from Harbor Freight. I haven't looked at anything in a long time, but the brighter and thinner the light, that's what I always go for. So this was about as good as I saw, and I was shocked. I've spent like $150 on lights that were like this size before. Now they're a lot cheaper and they're way more accessible. Lumar is a good brand, in your opinion? I found it really hard to work with. Lumar is actually one of the easiest films to work with. Slides pretty easily, shrinks very easily.
Can fit that anywhere.
And the only thing that I've heard lately is they have a really sensitive scratch coat. So
Can
they
you
tend to
show the model
scratch
of the
easier
blades
than
that the red dot
anything.
knife comes with? Are they the
It
go-to,
creases
or
it
is there
easily
anything
for me.
better to put in the
Every
red
film
dot?
can crease
My
easily.
nearest
That's
competitors
just
here in
film.
LA are charging really cheap because they are scared about not doing anything. In our case, we charge exclusive for exclusive materials, so we made 9K in 2 weeks in 6. Tint Studio text-to-speech audio is on. Ever looked through Tint with a black light?
You ever look through Tim the Blacklight? No, actually. What is this? Don't tell me this is ceramic. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's Pro Classic. Okay. Yeah, so window tint's just really sensitive. It's not
Chitty
stretchy.
chitty bang bang.
It's very rigid, and so you can very easily put like peak creases and stuff through it just by like crinkling it up a little bit. Tint's just really unforgiving. That's the nature of it. So you can do this with vinyl, and then you can shrink all that out. As soon as I got those little crinkles and stuff, all those are going to show in the film. That's with every film. So it's just tough. You just gotta
Still think it's crazy people
learn
pay
how to
hundreds
hold
of
it.
dollars a
So,
month
like,
for
you
plotter
can
software.
roll window tint,
We can hear
like
your
this.
robot voice.
or you can hear the robot voice. Really? Like this whole time? How has nobody said that? If that's the case. Shouldn't anymore. Anyways, so you can roll window tint one way, or you can roll it the other way. But you can't do compound things. So whenever you try and roll it like, okay, let me just show you. If I do this, and then I do this, I just put some really nasty friggin' bends in it. So when you're handling it, you just can't like do compound bends and stuff into it, or else you screw it up. You should make a video on the Model 3 back window. I'm getting one on Wednesday. There will be videos on it. Will you be making videos on tint shades and levels versus dash cameras? I mean, it's a great idea. I just have to make time for it. I like the idea, though. I think it's cool. It would be a very YouTube-y video. Took me about 7 tries before I got it right. Nice job. Yeah, there's some videos, and I've done live streams with the Model 3s. But yeah, they're not super easy. That's just kind of how they are. Robot voice is hilarious. Yeah, that's literally what I hear in my ear the entire time. I don't know what's been wrong with my chat software, though, but it has not been working. But if that's been going on the whole time, I had no idea. I figured people would have been saying that for a while. You're welcome. How do I get air bubbles out after I tint? I feel like it's the curing part. You don't. Air bubbles were there before the tint dried out. And if they weren't air bubbles, they were dirt specks. And as those specks and creases dry out, there's air gaps. So that's what you're seeing. I've heard soap in the spray leaves bubbles on the film later on. Is that true? No, not really. I've tinted with soapy milk, and it's looked good afterwards. I do a lot for videos. Yeah, you can tint with so many different things, and your film is fine. It's always dirt specks, creases, hairs. People just sum it up as contamination. But there's a lot of that. Or you left way too much moisture, it dries out quickly, and left an air pocket. I mean, yeah, it's tough to say for sure. But usually you can see like an air bubble floating on top of all that water. So if you left a lot behind, they're harder to see, but you usually have like an air pocket. That's why it's important. Squeegee out what you can and then go over it a little bit harder. And then you know you got out as much as you could. What model blades come with the red dot? They come with stainless steel. There's always just one that comes with the red dot, but it also depends on where you buy it from. So if you buy it off of Amazon, it just depends on the listing. Some of them ship with the stainless steel blade. Some of them will ship with a 30-degree carbon blade. They used to ship them with just a carbon blade, but then so many window tinters had problems, they actually changed it over. But this is used for many things besides window tinting. What you driving? I've been driving a Blazer for the past few years, like 3 years in July. But we're swapping that out with actually a Model 3 on Wednesday. So that'd be cool. Camera quality too high, head exploded. I understand. It's TikTok. What are we doing here? Alrighty, guys. I'm gonna take off. I should probably let him have his car back, so thanks for hanging out. I will see you in the next one. Do you ever think about adding detailing to your business? Not detailing. If anything, it was like maybe vinyl or maybe PPF or something like that. But that would, I'd have to hire somebody to do that. I've done PPF. I'm out of practice with it. I've done a little bit of vinyl work, but they all are their own skills and services that take their own amount of time. So what I do best is window tinting. So I've got plenty of business with that and with everything else around it that I'm doing. It's been good. How do you separate the liner from the tint so quickly? You just get used to it. You can either fleck it with your fingernail or just shift it with your teeth. Yeah, vinyl is completely different. Vinyl, you're stretching. Same thing with paint protection film. It's like you're stretching it. With window tint, you're taking that material and think of it as it's already pre-stretched, I guess. And then when you hit heat, it shrinks back together. Alrighty, dudes. I gotta take off. You have a good one. Bye.